Hello, if I find this useful, but for the time that I've had it, I always saw the SP404 as kind of a draft tool. I never really saw any kind of ways to develop like full ideas from it. But then I realized I've kind of overcomplicated things, and all I had to do is just hit record. Now, of course, the SP404 has things like stems exporting and pattern sequence within the device. But for me, the simplest way I can kind of go from like very small idea to something was to just hit record. So I have Audacity here. You can use like anything, any DAW, Logic. I have Logic as well. But I think Audacity kind of gives me this kind of raw ideas, like just raw recording in a sense, raw. In Logic, I tends to be kind of lost in all the plugins and all of those things. But yes, how do I start with this is I usually have a beat, or at least have like blocks of ideas. So in this case, I have a beat. That's kind of like the core thing that I want to record. And then on top of this, I have like a little kind of breaks. As you can see, I only have 3 patterns here. So I have this. That is just kind of like little drums. I was thinking of having like a drum fill, but yeah, that's just this. And then I have this. So these are kind of like my rough ideas. So what I'm thinking of is that the pad 2, or is what is in pad 2, is going to be my main beat. And then every now and then I will kind of use either pad 3 or pad 1 as kind of like a little breaks in between. So I guess the idea is that I have these. I don't really know where to take this inside of like the SP. So I will just kind of play around, do some takes. And the cool thing about this is that this leaves a lot of rooms for me to do like some sort of performance. That's why I kind of like this setup, because what I do here, whether it's accidentally or it's on purpose, then it's being recorded. So that's the idea. Of course, then once I exported everything, I can add stuff on top of it, like, I don't know, FX. Maybe run it through some things, some other things. Well, you know what? Let me maybe do like a little breakdown of what this is. So these are my samples. Now this is kind of very simple, I guess, very short. I didn't take a lot from the sample, but eventually I can add like I think in this sample there's like a guitar thing. That is kind of cool. And then I just have like drums. And then the second part, or at least I'm not sure if this is going to be a second on any sequence, but this is just this is the sample. For me, I don't have any effects on my SP because I'm thinking of running this whole thing through something. So maybe the Monotron Delay, because the Monotron Delay is great. All right. So I have all the texture goodness. Let's hear it. Ooh, that's nice. Let me kind of lower this a little bit because it kind of hits very hard with the bass. By the way, I'm not too much of a gear savvy, but do you know what kind of what other like outboard gears give that type of like texture? Let me know if you have any suggestions. So I have my ideas, have what I'm kind of thinking of processing it through. I kind of have the kind of sequence that I'm looking for. So the best and kind of the most interesting part is to kind of play it, you know. So let's start the first take. So that is kind of a very simple idea, I think. I do like it, but there is some like elements that I think I kind of messed up when I was trying to do the performance. So I think I like this. Let me try to create a new track. I will try to do a kind of a second take on this whole thing. I like that structure, so the intro is good. I also like this downer effects. I think this setup was kind of random because I was messing with the SP404 earlier. But I kind of like this. Maybe I can introduce this like a, you know? But yes, let me do another take and then maybe we can add some oh, this one, that's better. Kind of messed that up, but I like it. Ooh. I do like that second take a little bit better. I think I was a little bit there when it comes to kind of the effects, but I guess you kind of get the idea. The idea is kind of do multiple takes, and then now with these two takes, only two takes for this kind of showing how I do this, I will try to go over each and then I'll try to kind of put everything together. I think I like the second takes intro a little bit more. I like to cut around here and then I will try to add other stuff from like so I like that part a little bit. So it was here. But I guess you get the idea. The idea is kind of to kind of stitch everything together. Of course, not to go too kind of too surgical, or at least I don't want to go too surgical in this because I do kind of like the find a little bit of a charm into kind of having I guess I want to say unperfect style. And now comes the fun part. Let me create the new stereo track. I will try to add some I will try to add some effects. So let's try this. I think it's a little bit loud. Maybe not in the beginning. So yes, I want to take, I don't like this part, but these ones, let's mute them. And then this part, This one I think I kind of messed up here, so let's remove that. I think here is a little much because there is already kind of a lot, so let's not put that there. What about here? Oh, on the low one. So yes, this is how I would eventually go from like a 2 to 4 bar loop into kind of something that I can eventually develop into like a longer project. And the cool thing about this is that it leaves so much room for like the performances, and there is kind of a lot of retakes that I can eventually do. I guess this kind of thing, if I would have done this in like the stem way, or exporting the stems and things like this, or even like doing it inside and then have to route the effects through the SP404 and then reroute and everything, that kind of becomes a little bit too complicated. I think this is simple enough. There is many things that I can eventually add on top of all this. Maybe like add, like, I don't know, the zoom with kind of other effects. I use the KP3 as kind of another kind of effects, or even add synths from it, drums. I can also, while it's playing, kind of tap some stuff on the SP404 or even the Korg. But yeah, man, how do you do your kind of recording from a device like this? This is of course not limited to the SP404, but kind of the SP404 is the example. But how do you do yours, man? I hope this was useful. It was for me, because I had this, but I couldn't never really get outside of that like 4 bar loop. Man, I just realized it's as simple as this. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.